Hello. Good morning to you, my friends. Welcome to this, the last day of Utter Chaos, our first game here at 10 a.m. For those of you that are awake and drinking coffee with me this morning, is the Minnesota RollerGirls and Minnesota Nice. First, the No Coast Derby Girls Road Warriors. I'm going to run through some rosters for you. For Minnesota, we've got number 10, Delilah Diamond. Number 11, Terror Swift. Number 13, La Rotonda. Number 1764, Madame de Stampador. Number 1923, Chocolate Pain. Number 29, Killer Bee. Number 35, Moose Definitely. Number 511, Wheelie Nelson. Number 65, T-Rex. Number 69, Barbell Fett. Number 719, Bully Jean. Number 86, Wax Poetic. Number 87, Esmeralda. Number 989, Itches Be Trippin'. And number 99, Anti-Fascism.
All right, and for the No Coast Derby Girls Road Warriors, we have number 111, Matadora, number 12, Chewy, number 13, Witch's Brews, number 17, Fleetwood Smackdown, number 1776, Scars and Stripes, number 21, Amelia Die Hard, number 22, Major, number 34, Ivana Knapp, Ivana Knapp, number 350, Betty Rocker. Number 42, Nikita Crusher. 451 is Babe. Number 6 is Hot Rod. 707, Honey Smacks. 970 is Purgatory. 93, Femme Fatality. And we'll get this bout started. Delilah Diamond jamming for Minnesota Nice. Going up against 451, Babe, for the Road Warriors.
I'll be right back. Who are you? Oh, you're 27. Thank you.
Delilah Diamond getting around on the outside is your lead jammer. Minnesota Nice holding back Babe as Delilah Diamond gets through the pack and picks up a grand slam and 5 points on the board first for Minnesota Nice.
Headed to the penalty box, that is Itches Be Trippin', taking a seat for Minnesota. Going to be another 5 points for Delilah Diamond, and Minnesota bringing them to 10 so far on the jam.
And we have a star pass to the pivot on the Road Warriors.
I think it's better.
But no ability to score as Minnesota picks up a 13-point jam there to start off the game. We want to thank you all for coming out so early this morning. It's great to see some fans out there.
For those of you who care about our names, I'm October Revolution, and I'm here with Dolly Pardon Me.
That's right. Thanks for being here, October Revolution, all the way from Minnesota. Thanks to the
It's
Minnesota
not that
Roller
far.
It's not.
No, I'm with North Star Roller Derby. Jamming now, we got Moose Definitely for Minnesota up against Honey Smacks, who's lead for No Coast. Quick star pass. Bully Jean's going to put star on her head.
And that's Bully Jean now becoming the active pivot for Minnesota. But the jam is called.
4 points on the board for No Coast. Score now 13 for Minnesota, 4 for No Coast. And we've got Wheelie Nelson jamming for Minnesota and Chewy for No Coast.
Wheelie Nelson is your lead jammer. No Coast jammer stuck in the pack as Wheelie Nelson rounds around the track and picks up a 5-point grand slam for Minnesota.
10 points so far on the jam for Wheelie Nelson.
No Coast sending a couple blockers to the Bear and Bottle penalty box as Wheelie Nelson rounds again and picks up another 5-point grand slam.
Star pass for No Coast. Jammer is now Betty Rocker. Score now 32 for Minnesota. That was a 19-point jam. 4 for No Coast. 26 minutes left on the clock in this first half.
And lining up for Minnesota, anti-fascism takes off as your lead jammer also going up against number 6 on the Road Warriors. That's Hot Rod.
Anti-fascism picking up lead quickly for Minnesota, dancing around the outside through the pack. 5 points scored on that pass. Another pass around the outside for another 5 points for anti-fascism.
Minnesota blockers holding Hot Rod just onto turn 2 as anti-fascism picks up another 5-point grand slam.
Hot Rod breaks free. Initial pass completed for No Coast.
Another point-scoring pass for Minnesota, and that's a total of 19 points for anti-fascism that last jam.
We have T-Rex jamming for the Minnesota Nice up against Femme Fatality for the No Coast. For those of you who don't know, Minnesota is in white. No Coast is in black.
Femme Fatality knocked to the inside, recycled back around, but through the pack and is your lead jammer for No Coast. And T-Rex through the pack for Minnesota. Just as Femme Fatality approaches the pack, picks up 5-point grand slam for No Coast and calls off that jam.
Score now 9 for No Coast, 51 for Minnesota. We have just under 24 minutes left in the half. Sounds like the Minnesota fans have the hymnal out. They have a hymnal. Delilah Diamond jamming up against Ivana Knapp.
And Delilah Diamond, your lead jammer for Minnesota Nice. Ivana Knapp headed to the Bear and Bottle penalty box along with another blocker from No Coast. That'll give the power jam to Minnesota. Around the outside there, picking up a grand slam. Okay. Another grand slam through the pack. And it looks like pack advantage there with another 5 points. No Coast pack really down to just 2 blockers in that last pass, allowing Minnesota's jammer Delilah Diamond to get through there. Now stuck up in the back behind a wall that has reformed. It looks like everybody's cleared out of that Bear and Bottle penalty box. No Coast Jammer fighting her way through that pack.
Ivana Knapp's got free, forcing the call off. Going to end that jam at 23 points for Delilah Diamond. 9 now for No Coast B, and 74 for the Minnesota Nice.
.451 Babe jamming for No Coast against number 35. Moose definitely for Minnesota. No Coast is your lead jammer. That's Babe.
This is going to be a power jam for No Coast. Moose definitely headed to the penalty box on a track cut penalty. Quick call off from No Coast. We'll see what points look like in a second.
And it looks like No Coast Jammer also headed to the penalty box at the end of that last jam.
Moose will go first.
Everybody comes out of the box. Moose definitely gets through first. Is lead jammer for the Minnesota Nice. Babe is the jammer for No Coast.
Moose definitely through the pack for a 4 points, it looks like. As Babe also is hot in pursuit of that pack. Moose definitely calling off the jam, picking up a few more points there.
10 minutes played in this game so far. Score 12 for the Road Warriors, 82 for the Nice.
Jamming for the Road Warriors, 707 Honey Smacks. Getting out first and is your lead jammer. She's going up against Wheelie Nelson for the Minnesota Nice.
Honey Smacks is lead. Picked up 4 points on that pass. Calls it off to keep Wheelie Nelson from scoring any points. 16 now for No Coast, 82 still for Minnesota.
No Coast Jammer number 12, Chewy, knocking Minnesota Jammer Anti-Fascism to the outside initially, but Anti-Fascism through that pack is your lead jammer for Minnesota Nice.
Right through the middle, Anti-Fascism gets 5 points on the pass.
Anti-Fascism through that pack again, picking up another grand slam as Minnesota Nice's blockers hold back Chewy of the Road Warriors. Anti-Fascism initially held up in the back by No Coast, around the outside again for another 5-point grand slam.
One apiece on that pass. Going to be 16 for Minnesota, 1 for No Coast on the jam. going to be T-Rex jamming for Minnesota up against Hot Rod for No Coast. T-Rex out first.
And it looks like a star pass from Hot Rod to the pivot. That's number 350 becoming your active jammer, Betty Rocker. T-Rex calling off that jam as Betty Rocker approaches and gets into the pack, picking up 3 points for No Coast.
Super comfortable. Jimmy, now we've got Femme Fatality for No Coast up against Delilah Diamond for Minnesota. Last time on the track, Delilah Diamond picked up 23 points. Lead awarded to Delilah Diamond, but she's recycled back into the pack.
Delilah Diamond, your lead jammer, out of the pack now, as well as No Coast jammer, Femme Fatality. Delilah Diamond calling off that jam just as Femme Fatality knocked to the inside, picking up 3 points for Minnesota.
And we've got Moose definitely jamming up against Ivana Knapp. Moose definitely out first, gets the lead.
And Ivana Knapp is going to be sent to the Bear and Bottle penalty box. That'll give Minnesota a power jam. With just a couple blockers each on the track, the Bear and Bottle penalty box is seeing a lot of action early this morning. You can head on down to the Bear and Bottle, right down Commercial Avenue there.
That's going to be an Udder Chaos Staff Apex jump,
All
which
right.
gets 5 points for Moose.
Moose definitely around that track and through again for 5 points. Another grand slam for Minnesota. Nice. Ivana Knapp on the track again.
Moose now up to 24 points. So far the highest scoring jam in the game.
Moose definitely taking a hit there to Ivana Knapp, or hitting Ivana Knapp there on turn one, and then calling off that jam. We're going to see an official review here called by No Coast, and that gives us a chance to thank our officials this game. We've got Alicia Tees, Lightning Foltz, F and Zebra, A Group, Ms. Informed, JC Chaotic, Side Eye, Bert Hurt, Keister Bunny, Death Nelly, and Manasaur.
And for our skating officials, we have Uno Moss, Jane Goodcall, Chunk Rock Girl, Technical Difficulty, Call It 'em Fairly, Doc, Dr. Brew, and Mad Gent. Bruise Skate Sling, the over-the-shoulder roller skate holder. 100% skater owned and operated. Don't stuff your skates in a bag. Sling them around with a Bruise Skate Sling. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, or at bruisedsn.com.
And as this review goes on, I can tell you a little bit more about Udder Chaos. And we want to thank the WFTDA for making Udder Chaos a recognized tournament. The WFTDA Recognized Tournaments Program recognizes and supports high-quality WFTDA member-hosted tournaments worldwide. While allowing for various tournament structures, that recognized tournament program establishes a consistent standard for tournament officiating and games management. You can check out the complete schedule for all of this year's WFTDA recognized tournaments at WFTDA.com/events. And you can also check it out in our Udder Chaos program that you can pick out. There is one page with all of the great tournaments that the WFTDA is recognizing this year. And we're going to get back to the action on the track. We have Wheelie Nelson, your lead jammer for Minnesota, going up against Babe for No Coast.
So if you're wondering what that official review was, No Coast was looking for a cut call against the Minnesota jammer. The officials decided the no call stands, and they did not retain their official review for this half. Jimmy, now we have Anti-Fascism for Minnesota up against Honey Smacks. Anti-Fascism quickly picks up lead and is lead for Minnesota.
Honey Smacks, Anti-Fascism both out of the pack there. Honey Smacks on the initial pass, Anti-Fascism calling off that jam.
Score now with 11 minutes left in the half. 135 for Minnesota, 21 for No Coast.
Number 6, Hot Rod jamming for the Road Warriors. Going up against T-Rex for Minnesota Nice. Both jammers stuck up behind some nice 3-wall and 4-wall rotating, not really walls anymore. These are those nice tripods. Minnesota Nice jammer T-Rex getting through first, your lead jammer.
Star Stash by Hot Rod gets her free.
And Hot Rod approaching that pack just as T-Rex calls it off. Picking up 2 for No Coast. 2 on that pass also for Minnesota Nice. A tie jam.
Lining up now, we've got Delilah Diamond up against Femme Fatality.
Delilah Diamond pushing through the front there, picking up lead jammer status for Minnesota Nice.
Going to be 5 points for Delilah Diamond.
And there'll be 2 Minnesota blockers in the Bear and Bottle penalty box. Wax Poetic joined by Chocolate Pain. And just as Road Warriors Jammer gets to the pack, Delilah Diamond calls that one off. 9 points for Minnesota Nice.
The Knights have 3 blockers in the box, meaning they've only got 1 on the track. Luckily, that blocker has a pivot cap on. On the Jammer line, that's Moose definitely for the full strength, all 5-player no coast. You've got Ivana Knapp.
Moose definitely trying to play a little defense there. And Ivana Knapp is out of the pack first for lead jammer status for no coast, but Moose definitely right behind, passing Ivana Knapp there. Knocked to the outside and recycled to the back of the pack as Ivana Knapp is held up in the back, calling off that jam. Both jammers pick up a few points there. Ivana Knapp with 4, Moose definitely with 2 for Minnesota.
Score with just under 8 minutes left. 27 for no coast, 148 for Minnesota.
4:51, Babe jamming for the Road Warriors up against Wheelie Nelson for Minnesota Nice. And Babe is your lead jammer for no coast. Babe completing a KS Crew Apex jump there. Gets through the pack, picking up a grand slam for no coast.
That's an Udder Chaos staff apex jump for no coast. 5 points on that jam. 9 total, on the jam unanswered. Going to bring them up to 36, 148 for Minnesota.
Anti-fascism on Minnesota going up against Honey Smacks on no coast as the jammers both held up behind their respective blockers there, and out of the pack is Anti-Fascism, your lead jammer for Minnesota Nice.
Five points and call it for Minnesota on the jam.
Nice quick run through that pack and calling it off.
T-Rex jamming for the Minnesota Nice up against Hot Rod for No Coast. T-Rex able to get out and turn one. Lead jammer for Minnesota. T-Rex finding a little hole on the inside to squeeze through. 5 points. Go to Minnesota. Star Pass, Scars and Stripes getting the helmet cover, forcing that call off. Holding Minnesota to 5 on the jam.
In just under 5 minutes to go in this first period. Then we'll have a whole nother period of action. We've got some Minnesota fans in the stands.
We have Femme Fatality up against Delilah Diamond. Remember, Femme Fatality would be wearing the black jersey, and Delilah Diamond would be wearing the white jersey.
Delilah Diamond breaking through the pack, picking up lead jam for Minnesota Nice. Around the track again and through for another 5-point grand slam.
Delilah Diamond up to 10 points on the jam.
No Coast with a star pass to the pivot, Madame de Stampador, 1764. Not able to get past that Minnesota Nice tough defense. Minnesota calling off that jam. I'm sorry, Delilah calling off that jam with 12 points for Minnesota.
All About Derby, Michigan's only all roller derby brick and mortar shop, skater owned and operated. Stop by our booth to check out our products or visit us at allaboutderby.com.
Moose definitely jamming for Minnesota against Ivana Knapp for No Coast. Both jammers stuck there in turn one. A Moose definitely, though, now out of the pack. Your lead jammer for Minnesota Nice. And Moose definitely just breaking right through that pack of No Coast blockers, calling off the jam. Picking up a quick 4 for Minnesota Nice.
Just under 2 minutes left in the half. We've got 36 for No Coast, 174 for the Minnesota Nice.
Wheelie Nelson jamming for Minnesota against Babe for No Coast. Babe recycled to the inside as Wheelie Nelson has exited the pack. Not your lead jammer, but eligible to score points. Does so with a 5-point grand slam for Minnesota. And No Coast also passing the star to their pivot, number 17, Fleetwood Smackdown. That will bring this to the full 2-minute jam. So even though the period clock may end, we will go until the jam clock has expired. Wheelie Nelson wheeling through that pack for another 5 points. And Wheelie Nelson through for another grand slam for Minnesota. Minnesota blockers, though, really holding up the No Coast Road Warriors. Putting some excellent defense out there. Wheelie Nelson knocked to the inside there by No Coast blockers. And by the jammer, recycled to the back That jam will end, and that will bring us to halftime.
25-point jam for Wheelie Nelson. That's now the highest scoring jam in the game. This is going to be your halftime. So we'll see you back here in about 15 minutes.
Folks, there's just 10 more minutes in this intermission. Perfect opportunity to head on down to the silent auction. There are so many awesome items down there up for grabs. Go check it out. The proceeds for this silent auction will go to Madison Roller Derby to help us find a home to hang our skates, a venue to bout, venue to practice, venue to host tournaments. So if you'd like to get in on some awesome deals and help support Madison Roller Derby, please head on down to the silent auction. Thank you very much.
Getting back down to the action here in the second period of this first bout or game of the day here at the third day of Utter Chaos Tournament.
Yeah, we've got Anti-Fascism for Minnesota jamming up against No Coast's Babe. Score coming back from the half is 40 for No Coast, 199 for Minnesota. That's going to be Anti-Fascism with lead. Although Babe did get out right after.
Babe speeding around that outside of the pack, yep, forcing Anti-Fascism to call that jam. Minnesota's T-Rex, number 65, up against 707 on the Road Warriors' Honey Smacks.
Great hit on the inside by Chocolate Pain, knocking out Honey Smacks, able to open up a spot for T-Rex to get lead for Minnesota.
T-Rex making her way through that pack pretty easily, calling off that jam.
No Coast able to hold Minnesota to 4 on that jam.
We got Delilah Diamond jamming for Minnesota Nice against Chewy for the Road Warriors.
Quick lead picked up for Delilah Diamond. Chewy, though, able to break through the tripod on the inside, completing her initial pass. 2 in a row now, No Coast is able to hold Minnesota to 4. Jamming, we have Moose definitely with lead for Minnesota Nice up against Hot Rod.
And Hot Rod going to be sent to the Bear and Bottle penalty box, giving Minnesota Nice a power jam. Moose definitely just twirling around that inside line, picking up a 5-point grand slam for Minnesota Nice.
Last line of a defense is Matadora in the front, able to recycle Moose definitely and regroup with Purgatory. Moose definitely breaks through the center. There's a little help from Madame de Stompador and picks up 5.
Hot Rod back in on the track now, trying to fight her way past the Minnesota not so nice defense in the back of the pack. Moose out of the pack again with 5 points for Minnesota. And that pack just staying right in between turns 3 and 4. So Moose definitely already around the track again, through the pack, calling off that jam. picking up a total of 29 points for Minnesota. Big jam for Moose definitely. Moose definitely a big jam there.
Moose definitely the highest jam so far in the game with 29 points. Lining up, we've got Wheelie Nelson up against Femme Fatality.
Willie Nelson finding that center lane there, or fighting her way through, picks up lead jammer status for Minnesota Nice.
This is going to be a power jam, a high block called on Femme Fatality. She'll be taking a seat in the penalty box for No Coast.
Wheelie Nelson picking up a grand slam for Minnesota. Being held up just momentarily there before another grand slam on the board. You know, I did look up some duets between Willie Nelson and Dolly Pardon Me. Actually had a friend Toddley do it. From Here to the Moon, Everything is Beautiful in Its Own Way, and I Really Don't Want to Know are three that he found. And I'm not really sure of any of the lyrics to those. So I was thinking Islands in the Stream, but
I think Wheelie Nelson's a little bit busy, though, right now.
I think so too, but Wheelie
tiny
Nelson
bit.
is busy picking up grand slam after grand slam as Minnesota is just playing both offense and defense out there on the track. Total of 4 grand slams so far.
Up to
Another one.
24 points on the jam now.
Just a few blockers on the track for No Coast as they're being sent to the penalty box. Just 2 blockers on the track for Wheelie Nelson to fight past.
Willie Nelson gets the signal from the bench, calls that one off, and also now has 29 points. So
That was a back-to-back 29-point jam for Minnesota.
Yeah.
Most definitely than Wheelie Nelson.
it's going to bring them to 265. No Coast is at 40. So just under 60 points in just under 4 minutes of roller derby.
'27, Ivana Knapp going up against Anti-Fascism for Minnesota. Anti-Fascism takes the lead, jammer status.
Anti-Fascism doesn't even slow down on the lap, 5 points.
And that was a nice inside line there. Just a little bit of a slowdown there and turnaround as Anti-Fascism gets through that pack, but is being called for a backlock penalty and sent to the bear and bottle penalty box. That'll give No Coast Road Warriors, Ivana Knapp, a power jam here.
It's Chocolate Pain, Barbell Fett, and Madame de Stampador made a nice hole for Anti-Fascism, but she still clipped the back of one of those No Coast skaters and has to serve her 30 seconds. This is now a power jam and a 2-minute jam.
Ivana Knapp taken to the inside on this pass, picking up a grand slam, though, for No Coast on the last pass.
Some great work inside the pack by Fleetwood Smackdown and Major, slowing down Anti-Fascism, giving some time for Ivana Knapp to pick up another 5 points.
And another nice offensive move there, but Minnesota just recycling to the front again of the pack. Holding back Ivana Knapp.
Ten points on the, 15 points on the jam for No Coast, 9 points on the jam for Minnesota. Just under 20 minutes left in the game.
Timeout called by Minnesota.
Visit the 608 skate booth for personalized fittings. Check out the highly acclaimed Rydell Solaris boots. Get advice on wheels or just say hi to Mouse. 608 Skate offers the best skater tested and approved gear to help you make all your skating dreams come true on and off the track. Check them out on Facebook or Instagram at 608 Skate.
And we've got No Coast jammer Babe out of the pack first is your lead jammer, going up against T-Rex for the Minnesota Nice. T-Rex still being held up in the pack as Babe makes her way around for a 5-point grand slam for No Coast.
Babe holding on, staying in along that outside, tiptoeing through for 5 points for No Coast.
And Babe doing it again there, finding that outside line and still then taking on a couple Minnesota blockers. Another pass through, picking up a total of 15 points for No Coast on that jam.
And we've got Delilah Diamond jamming for Minnesota. Honey Smacks for No Coast.
Delilah Diamond through the pack first, your lead jammer for Minnesota. And Honey Smacks being recycled around to the back of the pack there, gets into the track a little bit too soon. Called for a cutting track penalty, will be sent to the penalty box. Delilah Diamond in Minnesota with a power jam. Delilah Diamond through the pack for 5 points for Minnesota.
Strong tripod by Purgatory, Witch's Brews, and Amelia Diehard, but broken up by the offense of Madame de Stampador, who keeps coming forward to break up those tripods.
Another grand slam pass for Delilah Diamond as the blockers stay fixed on that turn 3 and 4.
Quite a few blocker losses for No Coast. Leaves them with just 3 now in the pack.
Delilah Diamond just making her way around the track, picking up 32 points. 34 points in that jam, the new high scoring jam in the game. Minnesota Nice at 308, No Coast with 70. And we've got just over 16 minutes to play in this second period.
Timeout called by No Coast.
Well, this gives us a chance to talk about our WFTDA International Playoffs this year from August 31st to September 2nd in A Coruña, Spain, September in Atlanta, Georgia, and in November, New Orleans, Louisiana will be hosting the championships. We've also got some Continental Cups going on. And whether you're participating on the track, cheering in the stands, or watching on WFTDA.tv, WFTDA tournaments provide everyone who loves roller derby an opportunity to witness the most anticipated matchups of the year. Tickets for playoffs go on sale June 2018, that's next month, while tickets for the 2018 International WFTDA Championships go on sale in August. Get all ticket information at WFTDA.com/tickets.
This is going to be a powered start for the Minnesota Nice. That's Moose definitely able to get there and pick up lead.
And it looks like No Coast Jammer, Honey Smacks, released from the penalty box, back through the pack, but charged with another cutting penalty, is sent back to the Bear and Bottle penalty box. And Moose definitely trying to fight her way past a couple last No Coast blockers. Does so on that outside. Minnesota Killer Bee there with a little bit of offensive help for Moose definitely against the Road Warriors tripod in the front. Moose definitely picking up another 5 points, and as she sees the opposing jammer back on the track, calls off that jam. 15-point jam for Moose definitely.
Happened, but I don't know when it happened. I missed it happen. So. It looks like Honey Smack's taking a seat in the penalty box. Appears to trigger the official review by No Coast. If this penalty stands, that'd be 4 in a row for Honey Smacks. Terciops Truncatus Studios, a Madison-based independent game design studio, offers fun games and great gifts for the gamers in your life, and we're even setting out to make Cross Training your new favorite mobile game. Come check us out at this and other games at our come check this out and other games at our vendor table.
And folks, in addition to the wonderful vendor tables that we have all around this venue, we've got a silent auction also going on. You probably noticed it as you walked in today and maybe yesterday. That silent auction will go throughout the day, so be sure to check back often for all those great items that you may want to bid on. And we want to thank all our great vendors for being here as well. We've got a wonderful list of folks from Persephone's Treasures, kind of around the corner, 608 Skate. We've got Moreau Cosmetics, Chocolate Shop Ice Cream outside, as you know, all about Derby, Forward, and many more. Thanks for making the trip out here.
And it looks like we're about ready to go. Black challenged the cut call on their jammer, Honey Smacks. The call stands, so they will not retain their official review. And that's Willie Nelson with lead for Minnesota.
Minnesota jammer Willie Nelson on the track there is your lead jammer, as well as just picked up a 5-point grand slam on that point scoring pass. No Coast recycling with Wheelie Nelson. And just a little ways back there, but Wheelie Nelson able to break through, picking up another 5 points for Minnesota. Wheelie Nelson calling off the jam just as Honey Smacks, I believe, is released from the penalty box, picking up 14 points for Minnesota.
That's going to be Anti-Fascism jamming up against Chewy. Remember that No Coast is in the black and Minnesota is in the white.
And that's Anti-Fascism, your lead jammer for Minnesota Nice. Chewy is hot in pursuit. Anti-Fascism with a quick 4 points, calling off that jam.
And here we go with another jamming at T-Rex, jamming up against Hot Rod. T-Rex has one to beat. That's the pivot up front. Going to be number 350, Betty Rocker. T-Rex able to get around. Betty Rocker gets the lead.
Hot Rod still stuck in the pack as T-Rex picks up a grand slam for Minnesota.
Hot Rod having a hard time up against Chocolate Paint and Wax Poetic. Along with Itches Be Trippin'.
T-Rex tiptoeing on that outside line, picking up another grand slam.
That's a star pass for No Coast. Betty Rocker now has the star, placing it on her helmet, making her the active jammer. Betty Rocker gets around the outside, gets 4 points before that one's called up. Going to be 17 total for Minnesota, 4 total for No Coast. Official review now being called by Minnesota. Ian's Pizza is a proud sponsor of the Mad Rollin' Dolls. Ian's Pizza has 2 downtown locations, 100 State Street next to the Capitol and 319 North Francis near the Kohl Center. Both locations are open late. Order online at www.ianspizza.com. This official review is being used as a timeout. This timeout brought to you by the Minnesota Nice. They thought you needed a minute to take a breather.
Femme Fertility against Delilah Diamond. And Femme Fertility 93 called off for a forearm penalty. Called off the track to the Bear and Bottle penalty box. That'll give Delilah Diamond and the Minnesota Nice a power jam. Delilah Diamond also your lead jammer.
Barbell Fett goes straight from the box into the pack, breaking open a hole for Delilah Diamond, who gets 5 points.
Again, around that track, through that pack so fast, Delilah Diamond with another 5 points.
Fun fact about No Coast, they have 10 rookies on this team.
And Delilah Diamond breaking through again for another 5 points. Those rookies getting some good experience here against Minnesota. Delilah Diamond around the track again, picking up another 5 points. And it looks like we have a star pass on the Road Warriors to Scars and Stripes.
28 points on the jam for Minnesota, bringing them to 386 to No Coast 74. We have about 8.5 minutes left in this game.
Moose definitely jamming for Minnesota Nice against Ivana Knapp. Moose definitely your lead jammer. Moose, one of the high point scorers here. Both Moose definitely, Wheelie Nelson, and Delilah Diamond really putting up the points on Minnesota, on the board for Minnesota.
5 points for Moose, definitely.
And
Ivana Knapp headed to the penalty box on a cut. This is going to be a power jam for Moose, definitely, and Minnesota.
Moose definitely with that footwork through the pack when being held up in the front a little bit. Another 5-point grand slam, but calling off that jam.
We got 20 on the board for Minnesota, 74 points still for No Coast, 406 for Minnesota, 6 minutes left in the game. That was a bunch of numbers I just said in no particular order.
Babe jamming for the Road Warriors, going up against Wheelie Nelson for Minnesota Nice. Wheelie Nelson out first, picking up lead jam status. Wheelie Nelson calls off that jam, picking up a quick 4 points for Minnesota before Babe is able to score any points. And we have a timeout being called by No Coast. Your hosts, the Mad Rollin' Dolls, would like to thank you, our loyal fans, for continuing to help us keep roller derby alive in Madison. You can help support by visiting madisonrollerderby.org/our-home. Every penny helps fund this amazing nonprofit organization of athletes.
Don't forget to check out that silent auction. Go do it right now. It's fine. You can take a couple minutes, see some cool stuff, bid on some things, and help MRD fundraise.
Number 99, Anti-Fascism jamming for Minnesota. Your lead jammer going against Honey Smacks for No Coast Road Warriors. Honey Smacks through the pack, picking up 4 points for No Coast. And Anti-Fascism through the pack for 4 as well, calling off that jam.
Thank you. All right, we got jamming up on line Delilah Diamond up against Chewy.
And Chewy is out of the pack first. No Coast with the lead this jam.
Chewy is scoring eligible breaks through the center. Yeah, 5 points for No Coast.
Nice footwork by Chewy there on that inside line. Tiptoeing around Minnesota. Minnesota starting with a couple blockers in the penalty box. Now moving that pack nice and fast. Chewy gets through, picking up another 4 points. A 9-point jam for No Coast, keeping Minnesota scoreless.
About 3 minutes left in this game. 87 for No Coast, 414 for Minnesota.
Number 6, Hot Rod jamming for the Road Warriors against T-Rex, number 65 on Minnesota. T-Rex recycled to the back of the pack as well as Hot Rod, both knocked to that infield. T-Rex out of the pack first, your lead jammer for Minnesota.
No Coast able to race up front, try and stop T-Rex. Slowed her down a little bit, but she was able to pull out for 5 points on the pass. Strong tripod behind Hot Rod, going to make her pass the helmet cover. Minnesota, though, able to regroup in front of the new jammer, Scars and Stripes. Scars and Stripes just as Barbell Fett to beat, gets around her, and is now completed with her initial pass. Going to force the call off 10 on the jam for T-Rex, 0 for No Coast.
Next up, we will see Minnesota versus No Coast again, with their A teams playing at noon.
It's like a proper doubleheader.
It is. Definitely. Moose, definitely. On the line, jamming for Minnesota.
We're using your name both as a pun and as your name, Moose. I'm sorry.
Exactly. It's one of those great derby names that you can use. I just love walking around saying, oh, pardon me. Because you can use that so often.
I just like puns. I'm a professional punster.
Punster.
You would never know because my name is not a pun, but I do love some puns.
Everything else is.
This timeout was brought to you by the Frozen Scoreboard.
And we'll get back to the action with Femme Fertility jamming for No Coast.
No, we're taking a break. I think that they just also noticed that the scoreboard's frozen. We're going to take a minute. Figure that out. Mark your calendars and get your airline tickets for the WFTDA International Playoffs, August 31st to September 2nd in A Coruña, Spain, hosted by Can you say this for me?
Asbrigantias Roller Derby?
That sounds about right. And Asbrigantes, yeah. And September 21st to 23rd in Atlanta, Georgia, hosted by Atlanta RollerGirls.
I was just made aware that A Coruña had a roller derby league. I've been there, and it's a wonderful place, so I will have to check out their roller derby league. There's so many international leagues forming, as many around here. I have not been able to keep up with them in the last 15 years.
Well, there's
let me
about
tell you.
400 leagues internationally. So if you could memorize all 400 WFTDA leagues, that would be real impressive.
I think that might take a couple years of work.
Oh, scoreboard's gone now. Oh, there it is. It's back.
Exactly.
It's moving.
Just those necessary technicalities we need while playing a roller derby game here.
Hey, at least the lights stayed on.
That's right. I have been at bouts where the lights are going off in the middle of the bout.
No leaks in the ceiling and it's raining outside. You
Right.
know, it could be a lot worse than a frozen scoreboard. This is roller derby. And here we go. Moose definitely jamming for Minnesota in white. Femme Fatality jamming in black for No Coast. Moose definitely is lead.
Moose definitely finding that clear inside line, picking up a 5-point grand slam for Minnesota.
Great work by Leva Rotunda there, clearing that line.
Yes. Moose definitely being recycled to the back of the pack.
Only person in the beer bottle penalty box is Killer B for Minnesota. Everybody else is on the track. Star Pass. Scars and Stripes now the jammer for No Coast.
And Moose definitely calling off that jam, picking up another 5-point grand slam. 10 points total in that jam.
Moose definitely called that one off at 39 seconds, so we're going to have another one. And that's Ivana Knapp jamming up against Wheelie Nelson.
Wheelie Nelson out of the pack, your lead jammer. And through the pack, fast, Wheelie Nelson picking up points, calling off that jam. And that's going to give Minnesota 443 points. No Coast with 87.
While the score is unofficial, it's pretty sure the result is going to stand. So congratulations to the Minnesota Nice on winning this game.
And we'll be back shortly with the Minnesota Roller Girls against the No Coast Derby Girls again. Thank you. I've been Dolly Pardon Me.
I'm October Revolution.
And we'll see you in a little while.